Hello everyone, I'm Fabi Prager. I'm the chef who helps you to have a delicious gluten and dairy-free life. So you're gonna have it possible because it is possible. So today is our first savory recipe, which means we are going to cook together, not only bake. And it's kind of the French crêpe, in Portuguese panqueca, salgada. It's a savory dish. In this case, it's going to be filled with chicken breast and some nice spices. You're going to see the whole recipe here. And I'm going to start make the crêpe itself, which is, so I'm going to use a hand mixer and I'm going to mix here. But you can just use your blender and blend. So use the blender cup and pour everything directly there. I'm gonna need this. So I'm using here, I did my mise en place. Everything is already measured, weighted. So I'm gonna start with oat flour. So here I have my milk. In this case is rice milk. So I like to use rice milk for savory recipes, not because the plant-based milks are already sweet, but because I think flavor is better. So let's start with the milk, then almond milk. The starch could be cassava starch, could be potato starch, arrowroot. So I'm using potato starch. Rice flour, it's going to be our base. The proportion is rice flour 50% and then 25% from the rest. Salt and eggs. I don't have a measure for the eggs here. I use 2 eggs, but if we say 120 grams would be really fair. So what we do is just blend. Sorry about the noise. Perfect. Very easy. Next step. What are we going to do? We have here our stove. Let's say I never did this here in this stove, but it's going to work well. I have here a little bit of olive oil. Could be melted butter, could be the spray, could be anything you have there. I'm going to do just a drop. It's really just a drop. And then I'm going to spread here in our frying pan. Is it necessary? So it depends on your frying pan. I think in this one might not be necessary, but so I'm used to do it. Let's see. As for the quantity, we are going to have like 90% of a lid. It's going to be okay. How do we know? Let's warm up a little bit more. How do we know it's ready? Very important, interesting question. Let's say here 90%. The idea is to be as thin as possible. So it's going to be, you're going to see some bubbles. It happens. Hope you can hear very well. Make sure it's not very thick. This is not what we are looking for. Can we use another kind of milk? Yes. Can we add some more spices to the crepe? Yes, but at this moment I don't think it's really necessary, because what we want here is to have a very thin and nice cooked crepe with a neutral flavor in order to for the filling to stand out. That's the idea. I think we are very good here in, yeah. I'm going to take, so we are really, it's not going to work like this. Would be nice, you know? The show needs really, I can see that that's almost cooked. You see that on top is not as wet anymore. It's really beautiful. Needs to cook a little bit longer. It's looking good. I don't know how much I can show. It's the first time I'm using this cup to do that. Hello everyone that's watching online. How I'm cooking our dinner for tonight. A little bit longer. I don't have many options here. Is 500 or 1,300, which I think is a bit too much, and we don't want to burn. Now let's see if it works to do that. Wow. Yes, that's how it looks. You're gonna see the, as I said, unfortunately we can't really show here, but you see some bubbles. 500 was too little heat, that's why it was taking a bit longer. It's ready. So the first row, our first pancake. However, I think 1,300 is actually too much. It's nothing in between. Unfortunately, another draw. Not yet. It's a bit boring like that. So, what can be our fillings for the crepe? We are going to roll them. Can be chicken with cream cheese. In this case, a vegan cream cheese is the one we are going to do. Could be meat, ham and cheese if you like, or vegetables. Just the filling has to be cooked, so we can't do it with raw vegetables, because once we finish the pancakes, we are going to fill them with the ready filling, and just bring to the oven to warm up. As per the sauce, we could do like a tomato sauce. It depends on the filling. Could be even a bolognese sauce. Could be bechamel sauce. In this case, I'm going to do only chicken. The filling it's going to be chicken breast, and the sauce is going to be tomato sauce, not bolognese, just tomato. Oops. So we are almost there. Think when it's not sticking anymore, then it's going to be ready. Every frying pan is different, but pretty much you are going to see these bubbles on top. So was not like the first one. So the other side is always easier and faster. I would say this one is just ready. Okay. Easy as that. Can you use this recipe for a sweet dishes? Yes, without salt. I would add a little bit more sugar, like 50% more. If for the recipe you have like 5 grams, I would say 7 or 8 grams of sugar. Can be any kind of sugar. And the fillings could be from chocolate, fruits, or banana. So anything you like. It's quite interesting to cook in this stove. Maybe next time we just use that one. Filming from the side is not as interesting, but you guys can send questions. I promise to read and answer once I finish here. Just right now, I can't see them. Let's make our chicken filling. We have 2 ways to do it. So we can shred, just shred by hand, is how I used to do. So you can use 2 forks, also works. So how you prefer. I have here 2 chicken breasts, cooked. Try to make it as small as possible. There are other possibilities like use your stand mixer, your food processor. For me, I prefer to really bite the chicken. Any other possibility, you to have a very, how can I say, a very like small, like a crumble of chicken, which is not what you are looking for. So then in this way, maybe it doesn't look as nice as using the 2 forks, but it works. It works good if you like it. So the next one is a question of taste, of course. So do I have to cook through 100% while like boiling? Ideally, yes. However, we are going to cook a little bit further now. If your chicken is not really cooked, you are not going to be able to shred as I'm doing right now. 2 chicken breasts might not look a lot, but it is. When you shred, you see that the volume increase. It's enough to fill a 22 centimeters or like a 8 inches chicken pie. So I think that's enough. That's how it looks like. So our next step is to start adding some olive oil. I have olive oil and butter. So I kind of like to mix both. This is a vegan butter. I like the taste. And next we have here onions and garlic. We need to cook them. So I'm using shallots, not really onions. Let's just cook until it's like a transparent. The recipe in this case is kind of a suggestion because of course you can add, if you like peas, you can add, if you like other spices or cumin, or if you like to add some tomatoes crushed. So it works with pretty much everything. So now we can add our. But chef in this moment is going to cook, to finish cooking. Yes, but ideally is to leave the 45 minutes cooking. And if you're using pressure cooker, after pressure 10 minutes in medium heat. What I've done today here is to leave 45 minutes with a little bit of water and just pour a little bit more when I saw it was getting dry. Amazing. Let's say we're going to fry a bit, saute with all the ingredients. We can add a little bit of water. Then we can let it fry a little bit. And at this moment, we can start adding our spices. Sorry, it was noisy. Bit of oregano in this case, because I like. Paprika, optional, has a strong flavor. I have here a bit of green olives, the sweet corn, another bit of water. Water, we are going to add spoon by spoon, as you will see. And salt, just to make sure stays moist. It's not burning, it's not sticking to the bottom. Here might need a little bit more salt. This step doesn't take long. When you are making the chicken, you can even do a little bit more, because you can use to fill your crêpe for chicken pie, for chicken sandwiches, for to eat with your sweet potato if you're going to the gym. I would say it's ready, because this is more about season the chicken than to cook, because it's supposed to be cooked already. So let's add a bit of parsley that I chopped as small as possible. And we are going to add a little bit of cream cheese, but off heat, of course. We have vegan cream cheese. You can use any cream cheese you like. If you are not avoiding dairy, you can also just fill crepes with the chicken without anything else. So here for me is ready, and we can already go to the next step. Now we are going to fill the crepes. What do we need now? See, here we have the crepes. They are cold. And here we have a bit of cream cheese, our vegan cream cheese. Why do I like to add some? Because they kind of bind the ingredients together, and I think this is nice for the crepes. Just a bit, because we don't want to change completely the taste. That's not the idea. We just want to. So that's going to be the consistency. Here we have our baking dish, the one that we are going to bring to the oven, and our, I think a fork is going to work better here. How should we do it? So use the center. Make sure you are not going, this in terms of quantity is more than enough. Make sure you are not going to go over like the sides, because it might come off when you bake. Then just keep in the center. This is going to spread a bit anyways, so that's enough. Don't know how good you can see, but this is the, so we leave like 2-3 fingers on the side. In the description you're gonna see all the quantities, how big is the baking dish, what's the diameter for my frying pan. Don't worry. So we are going to use the filling a little bit more from our side, then roll it very tight. Don't be too generous because it might leak on sides. Should be enough to make like a very good 6. So the quantities I'm giving you to make 6 pancakes or crepes if you prefer. If you have a bigger family, if you need more, just add a little bit more. So I think this is okay. Yeah. So actually, I'm also making 6. We are not able to eat that much, but it's what fits in the baking dish. Great. So we have a 24 centimeters frying pan, and we made 7 discs, and we are using 6. Now we are going to make a nice sauce for the pancakes, and I'm going to show you guys how. Now we are here all set for the next step, which is the sauce. As I said, we can, it depends on the filling, of course. We can have a bolognese sauce, we can have a bechamel sauce. So there are endless possibilities. So we are going to start here with a little bit of olive oil. It's already there. Like a good tablespoon, let's say so. Then we have here our onions and garlic. When it becomes a little bit like a transparent, we are ready to go with our tomato sauce. So in this case today I'm using tomato puree, which is made with tomato, like ripe tomatoes without skin. About adding some sweet, some sugar, something like that, we are going to try and see if when we finish adding our spices and herbs and everything, if it is needed or not. So we're almost there. I love this onion and garlic smell. I have 300 grams of tomato puree, but it could be also 300 grams of tomati pelati, or even ripe tomatoes if you want to make with the proper tomatoes. Just is a question of taste, how much sauce you need. Would be like a 270, 250, let's say 250 grams of milk to make a kind of 300 grams of bechamel sauce here. We are going to cook in once is boiling, simmering, we are going to reduce the heat and cook for at least 15 minutes in low heat. We can at this point add a bit of sugar. Oh, salt. It happens when a pastry chef's cooking, we are always thinking about the source of sugar. So, source of sweets. Ideally, we are going to cover, let it simmer in low heat for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And after 5 minutes simmering, we can add our fresh herbs. We can add half of the herbs while cooking, and another half, like if it's like a desiccated, like a oregano, we can just add it now for this preparation, no? Because oregano becomes bitter after some time. And we can add half of the herbs while cooking and the rest when we serve. It's very nice to have this bite as well. So, as I said, ideally we are going to cover the lid. So after a good 15 minutes, you can try here and see if no, let's say we really don't need any sugar, maybe a little bit more salt and pepper, yes, for sure. Our herbs, we are already off heat here. So now we also added our fresh herbs. We always have to consider that after cooking, some of the liquid evaporate, and we don't have our 300 grams of tomato pudding anymore. Sorry if it's a bit noisy. Can we serve also without any sauce? Yes, we do, but I don't think as nice, especially for kids. It tastes really nice with baked tomatoes, like our tomato sauce made with baked tomatoes. Um, One option is if you eat cheese, dairy, or even with a vegan cheese, you can also